What's up? How we doing? How we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another stream. Welcome to Friday's stream, which got made very interesting about an hour ago. Well, when was it? About an hour and a half ago? Something like that, yeah. So it should be a great stream today. We do have a special guest on today. We do have Coffee back on the channel. Let's see who we've got in the chat. We've got Scottish saying GMO was about to buy Bitcoin this morning just before the sell-off. I thankfully got distracted. RSI not looking great, so I'll wait for 80k now. Afternoon says it. Morning. How are we today? Hello, Reggie boy. How we doing, Dan? Steve-O. Reggie got back to break even on his ETH trade, then nuked itself an hour ago. Yeah, everything got hit pretty hard after the China news, didn't it? Dave, can you release the gods of shorts, please? I have my shorts locked and loaded, daddy. Well, we'd have to go higher, I think, for me to short it from here anyway. Bitcoin is holding strong, expecting an expansive move to the upside, says Loki. Bitcoin is holding strong. However, we'll have a look at what happened last weekend. Pumping says shred it. Yeah, do you know what? Actually, I just realised something. But how we doing, Coffee? Welcome to the stream, mate.
Hello, thanks for having me. Yeah, all good, thanks. How are things with you?
Yeah, great, mate. I just realised the title of the the title of the stream needs changing because when I set it up, we was pumping and gone.
Yeah, things changed pretty drastically, didn't they?
Yeah. Bitcoin. Let's change it to Bitcoin dropping. Yeah, when I scheduled the stream up this morning, we was in that nice uptrend. I've only just realised. So whoever said that, thank you very much for letting me know about the title. Otherwise, I wouldn't have realised. Save changes. Okay. Right, so that's all fixed. Yeah, mate, I haven't had you on the channel in a while, so I suppose we'll start off with you. How's things?
Yeah, all good, thank you. Been a busy start to the year, but finally getting some time to start trading again. Managed to do a couple of live trading sessions with Stonksy the past couple of weeks as well, which was nice. You know, live streaming it, not quite used to it. But yeah, it's been good fun. I'm enjoying it. The markets are choppy though, but it does really help to have an indicator like this to kind of guide you in the right direction. Been trying out the bots as well. They've been interesting. So yeah, all going well. Thanks, mate. How about yourself?
Yeah, very well, very well. Been enjoying the streams. Obviously, we've had some great volatility to look at on stream of late. We'll look at that today. But yeah, overall been good. Been enjoying trading Bitcoin. It's obviously, you know, probably in its most volatile point in a while, I think, in terms of the moves it's offering. You know, and them being very fast as well, not taking ages to get to a point of turning and then, you know, ages to go the other way. It's providing some good volatility and fast as well, which is always good. Wiz, how we doing, my friend? We got Steve-O, we got Justin. How are we, mate? Great to see you. Thank you very much for joining the stream. We got Zane in. Hello to you. Bullish Dave strikes again. Yeah, the market was up here when I scheduled the stream this morning, and obviously put the title in and that. The market was up here, so it was obviously looking good. And then I forgot to change the title after getting this. So yeah, there we go. Save with crypto. How we doing, my friend? Welcome to the stream. Everyone, make sure you do drop a like on the stream. Please do take 2 seconds to go and drop a like. And then, yeah, we'll get going. Obviously, I think Coffee will probably start best off with this that caused the drop this morning. So we had got, you know, a nice, obviously, push up from Bitcoin from yesterday after it held pretty well. And Bitcoin overall has been holding up absolutely superbly, you know, considering what stocks are doing. You know, we've got S&P just absolutely nuking through the floor. NQ's nuking. Obviously, the Mag 7 alongside that. But something I do want to look at is the VIX. So if we go on the VIX, then for a second, the VIX is the volatility index, the S&P 500. We have a look on the monthly horizon. We are now approaching obviously a point where historically, obviously, this event in 2008, during COVID, and then I can't remember what caused this one. When was that? Oh, that was the when the Nikkei dropped massively, when we got the spike up to 65 there last year. Typically, once we start approaching around 45 and upwards, that has tended historically to mark the top of in terms of volatility. Now, the VIX obviously spikes upon negative volatility, so to the downside. So we'll see if that strikes again, or maybe if the S&P is going to keep dropping, maybe it just chugs away steadily to the downside instead of it being a massive volatility spike like this. But it's interesting to see the VIX back up here in terms of super high time frame levels where it's spiked up to. So maybe this is kind of peak volatility, and then the trend can always continue, but it might just continue slow and steadily. But yeah, that's definitely worth mentioning and looking at, because historically this has typically been where it's peaked, which may suggest we're approaching somewhat of a bottom on the S&P maybe. I mean, if you look at the monthly chart now, we are all the way back to levels of, mid last year now. So we're really coming into somewhere quite interesting. What's your view of the market in general, mate?
So my view is, it's scary at the moment. There's a lot of negative price action. People are fearful, and rightly so, and some maybe logically fearful. But it's a video I was speaking to you earlier. I'm trying to upload it as we speak. I've done a little video of it looking at the weekly time frame, and what you said there, maybe we're seeing a bit of a bottom. I think there's something just happened in the weekly charts. I can share my screen actually in a second. But I think, maybe we'll see a little bit more sideways or downside. But my personal opinion is in the next few weeks, again, my opinion, do not follow it. In the next few weeks is we could see some dramatic upside in the price of Bitcoin. If you give me like 2 more minutes, I'll be able to share my screen with you and walk you through why I'm thinking what I'm saying. Sure. Amongst all the chaos, I'm quietly bullish and a bit stressed that I'm not buying enough right now whilst it's dumping. I know people may disagree with me. I may be wrong. I've got no issue with being incorrect. If it continues to go down after this, well, I would be quite sad because I have Bitcoin. But I'm really thinking we're gonna in the next few weeks see a dramatic move upwards. Now, if I'll just after a couple more minutes, I'll be able to get my screen up and walk you through it.
Yeah, no problem. You take time.
What's your sentiment looking like at the moment?
Well, I have been this week I was patiently waiting for the price to come in down towards about 80.5, maybe towards 80k, something like that. As you can see, the amount of alerts I've got waiting for it. Obviously, we just went without it this week after coming back down here to test the Monday lows. However, when you come and look at Bitcoin now, we've obviously got a place here where around this kind of 81.5k, maybe down towards about 81,300 is where demand's coming in, and obviously it's being held up. Now, just in general, Bitcoin's being held up massively. Just this week we've dropped massively on the S&P, and Bitcoin's not really moved that much at all. So Bitcoin is being held up. It's strong, whatever you want to call it. It's being held up massively in the market, and it's really strong compared to the S&P, and what's going on in TradFi. I mean, from here, I think given that we've got this, just this build up of lows now around this 81.3k area, I don't know whether we're going to get it or not, but for me, it would just make sense to come in and clear that now. So, just come and clear below here, below here, below here, just completely wipe it out, maybe down and come into here. And then whether we sweep the low or we go up from there is what I'll be looking for to potentially get long. Now, something I don't want to do is, so I won't be taking anything today, because if we look at what happened last week, we obviously got a bit of a bloodbath on the Saturday. So typically, I think Saturdays and Sundays are a bit better, but typically Saturdays have been really dry for volatility. But obviously, what we looked at last week, Saturday, was we just got an absolute nuke down all throughout the day on Saturday. Now, with how well Bitcoin has been holding up this week relative to TradFi, once TradFi closes, we might go, if it goes to the upside, great, whatever. But I don't want to potentially be caught on the wrong side of a move if we get sort of a follow through and just come out and clear these lows. I'll be looking to potentially get long if we come into here to trade it back up. Or worst case scenario, it really does catch up to what's happened and the bottom falls out of it, and maybe we come and sweep these lows and then go back up. But I'll be watching eagerly. I'll be watching for an entry, but yeah, I don't think I'll be stepping into the market today unless we get something good. Obviously on the Stonksy bot, if Stonksy bot goes off, it will automatically do it for me. But personally, I think I'll be waiting for a clearance of these lows now and then looking to maybe step in. I mean, whether we get that or not, if we get a strong bounce on the S&P from here, obviously Bitcoin being so strong, we might just start pushing back up here, maybe past 85, 86, 87. What I really want is a coming clearance of all this up here. So I would love a run of these highs to then potentially short it back down, because I personally think maybe we're just stuck in this range for a while. So I would personally love a run of these highs to then look to short it back down. So run these highs and then short it back down and probably just stay within this range is what I'm thinking. Obviously, that can be eradicated by reclaiming the previous range. All good. But just looking to trade the range for now. But yeah, I think with the weekend coming up, we could get nothing, or we could get maybe some good movements. So that's where I'm up to, thinking based on these moves.
Yeah, it makes sense. I think I agree. Like, probably always best just trading the range for now. And yeah, we've got to keep an eye on those key levels. I can show you my chart now. Share my screen if you want, and show you why I'm like quietly bullish amongst all this death and destruction with our portfolios.
Yeah, let's go.
Maybe I'm just like living on hopium. Maybe the audience will tell me. But there's method to the madness. Is my screen showing yet? Or...
Oh, here we go. We're going up now. That's quite the.
Told you I'm right. It's going to go up forever now.
That's quite the U-turn. That's quite the U-turn. Okay, yeah, I'll put your screen on, mate, and then yeah, you go for it.
Let me know when it's clear for you.
Yeah, you're on.
All right, cool. Right. So this is the weekly chart on Bitcoin. So yeah, I've just uploaded a video on this breaking it down, but I'll go through in as much detail as I can now. Feel free to jump in and ask any questions.
Just before you carry on, mate, I'll just say non-farm payrolls just come out.
Okay.
Came in at 228, and the consensus was what was the consensus? I can't remember what the consensus, but I think it came in above consensus. So I think that's that mad 1 minute candle that we've just had on Bitcoin caused by NFP. But yeah, go on, carry on, mate.
Right, okay, fair enough. So it wasn't me saying on the Stonksy stream that Bitcoin Mate, we'll get there soon though. So right, basically, if you look down here at the momentum waves on the weekly time frame, you can see there's this momentum wave. It's been curving down, hence the horrific price action we've been having. But I think if we have a positive weekly close on this candle or next, we could see it start to curve back upwards. Now, why this has got me confident? I mean, it's not played out yet, but it's got me thinking, okay, I need to be looking at this because it's happened very few times before. So last time this happened, we had, I mean, it's not a neat one here, but it's a weekly momentum wave coming down, and it's starting to curve up towards the upside here. And if you look last time this happened, where price was, so it confirmed on this like green dot here, and we closed the week at $64,128, but price didn't shoot up straight away. We had a couple of weeks here of pretty much sideways price action. But then when we got that clear break above that 20 MA line on that candle, we had the momentum wave cross above the zero line at that stage as well. Price was here at $69,000, and from then we went up all the way to the all-time highs of over 100K. Looking back to last time this happened, as you can see here, it's so rare. Again, we have this weekly momentum wave here, and it confirmed on this candle as a bullish thing with this green dot, but we can essentially ignore that for now. We saw it then cross above the 0 line. Again, we had that close above the 20 MA, and from there, price dramatically increased all the way up to $70,000+. And the time before that, we had this weekly momentum wave come up above the 0 line. It closed above that 20 MA, and when that happened, we were at $20,000. So it happens so infrequently. Each time it does, it's not like an instant thing, but it's not very long afterwards that we start to see that really insane price action towards the upside. Now, I know there's other things to look at in the charts, but for me, I think the longer the time frame, the bigger the time frame, the more gravity it has. So yeah, this may happen. There may be a few days or 1 to 2 weeks of more pain. But for me now, I'm thinking, like you said before, could we be at a bottom? I think we're very close to it, if not already. And I don't think it'll be invalidated if we drop another 5, even 10K. If we see that weekly momentum wave start to curve back up, and there's no rush, we could wait till it crosses the 0 line, because if you've done that each time and we're really safe, yeah, at the time you may have bought in at the high, but you were buying in at a fantastic point in the cycle to get to benefit from these price moves. So it's something I'm quite interested in. I'm keeping an eye on it. Obviously, we need to look at the lower time frames as well, but I just thought it'd be really cool to share that this is quite a rare event. And if you combine it with Stonksy to help you get those key entry points, it could be a position for a pretty decent trade. Like I'm now looking to put in some super low leverage trades just to try and catch this one. And then obviously continue to use Stonksy for the lower time frames as well for those shorter term trades. But yeah, that's a quick summary on it. I have done a video on it. If anybody wants to go over and watch it after the stream, breaking it down. Well, yeah, keen to hear what you think of that. It's an interesting one, I think, anyway.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, yeah, if it comes off again, then yeah, we could maybe be ready for a push up, couldn't we? So I think it's interesting for sure to see if it repeats again. And I think, yeah, I mean, potentially it is showing signs. Bitcoin is miles stronger than anything else at the moment in terms of relative to TradFi. So apart from gold, but yeah, I think it could be really interesting if this strength holds up, and then obviously we get some sort of bottom mark on the S&P. Could give Bitcoin a lot of room to aggressively as well.
Yeah, I think it's a testament to its strength. Like you said, like the market's been obliterated. Look what's happened to like Tesla, Nvidia stocks, Apple stocks have just been absolutely nuked. But Bitcoin's going down, but nowhere near what some of the major players in the S&P are, and that's given me a bit of confidence. Again, I'm not saying it's going to rocket up today, but in the next few weeks, I wouldn't be surprised if we're absolutely on a rocket ship. But like definitely some more sideways. It could go down to 80s, mid 70s. But it doesn't invalidate the point that if we see this momentum wave on the weekly curve back upwards and cross that 0 line, at that point, I'm really all in. Really all in at that stage. Now I'm waiting for it to play out. But yeah, I think we're time-wise, we're close to that bottom. Like TMG said, he thinks it's not over. I'm not saying it is. I'm saying we're probably close to being over. It might get a little bit worse, but long term, I think we're at that point where we'll zoom back in the charts in a year or a few months and be like, okay, this was the time to be accumulating. So yeah, that's my thesis anyway, and I hope I'm right, because then everyone's happier.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, there is starting to be signs that a bottom could be really close. I mean, if I just whack my screen up again,
Yeah.
a second, and for anyone who joined, in the past like 10, 15 minutes, not from the start, one potential reason where, we could be looking at maybe a bottom is starting to form, or, maybe on its way or whatever. If you go and look at the VIX, which is the volatility index on the S&P 500, as you can see historically, this is dating back 30, 40 years. This is obviously volatility to the downside. So when, fear starts really peaking and stuff like that, when we do trade in around this 40 to 50 zone, that has typically been bar 2008 and obviously the COVID crash. And then when the Nikkei dropped like 9% or whatever it was last August, this has typically been where, volatility has peaked and, max fear has come into the market. As you can see, going back all the way to when it first come into this level in 1998. So this is one thing where I'm starting to look at it and thinking, okay, like VIX has really spiked now, and this has only come in obviously today. It spiked up yesterday a little bit, but really obviously on the news of China upping its tariffs on the US, really pushed into there very quickly. So this is a key thing, this can't be ignored. Volatility index on the S&P, can it go down? Like I mentioned before, of course, this is volatility. So, a sudden spike or sudden influx of it doesn't mean that we can't slowly and, controlled still bleed down more. We could still do that. But in terms of like volatility hitting the market and, something unexpected coming, the S&P getting a big drop, unless we get something, that still isn't priced in or calculated or whatever. I mean, China fixing, hitting the US with larger tariffs, that's probably as big as it gets in terms of the whole tariff thing, you would imagine. There's nothing really, I wouldn't consider anyone coming out bigger than China that could affect the market like they have done this morning. So maybe, obviously with this spike on the VIX, we are approaching somewhat of maybe like a peak sort of fear, panic, whatever you want to call it in the market. And maybe it settles down. Maybe we could still continue to the downside on the S&P. But if the S&P does find a bottom, I do think with how strong Bitcoin has been, and we'll just look at this for a second, if you look at Bitcoin over the past, couple of weeks, we've literally gone sideways, where the S&P has literally just been nuking non-stop. We've had, if you go to the weekly chart, if this week closes red, which, you definitely can't see it coming back up here today. So we can pretty comfortably say the S&P is going to close red again this week. The S&P has had 6 down weeks in the past 7. It's had 1 green week here. The rest has just been completely nuking, just down only action pretty much. In that same amount of time, so this started on the 17th of February. Bitcoin was, where was Bitcoin? Bitcoin was here. So in the same amount of time when the S&P peaked and started dropping, Bitcoin has only really dropped about 14%, something like that. About 14%, where the S&P on the same weekly candle has dropped the same amount. Now we're talking about the S&P 500, what will it be now? About 40 trillion after this wipeout, so about a $40 trillion asset. And then we've got Bitcoin, which is probably, what's Bitcoin sitting at? Probably about 2.5, something like that, around these prices, maybe 2. So Bitcoin has been holding up extremely, extremely well. There's no doubt about it. Whether we get a sudden drop and, it catches up on that, like we discussed at the start of the stream, that could be the case. We could just get a complete wipeout on Bitcoin out of nowhere. But it can't be denied that Bitcoin is holding up so much stronger than TradFi at the moment. Whoever, is propping it up. So, yeah, the S&P bottoms, starts to squeeze back up. No doubt, I think that gives Bitcoin room to start to really squeeze. I would like to see these highs get taken out as a minimum. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, the spike on VIX, no doubt, historically has marked bottoms of volatility spikes. So we'll see. TMG says, maybe I prefer the idea of a dip to 50 to 65k over the next 2 months. Potentially, yeah, potentially. Yeah, I don't know what would be the catalyst of that. maybe we go as low as 20 to 30k. I think MSTR is a Ponzi scheme. I think personally, I mean, in my view, I think that's definitely possible, and maybe Sailor is the fall guy and stuff like that. But I think that would be something that would come in the bear market. I don't think that's probably now, and I think that's probably catalyzed by the arse completely falling out of the stock market. Maybe, I don't know, but I don't know what I mean. Would that happen now? Could do. I have no idea, but there's no doubt. I mean, if Sailor was the fall guy, and MSTR did go pop, along with all this Bitcoin, we would be going back to the depths, wouldn't we? We'd probably be going lower than that. They'd have 500,000 Bitcoin to sell off, wouldn't they? So it would be pretty crazy. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I'm seeing at the moment. Obviously, spike on VIX into key historical highs. Potentially, if we go to the S&P as well, and we go on the 4 hour, that's the 12 hour. If we go on the 4 hour and we look at it, it is kind of coming into a point now where you could say, okay, we are potentially maybe going to see settlement around these levels. You could definitely see it bouncing from here. And we'll have pulled back 15%. So is that enough to maybe give some upside on the S&P? Yeah, potentially. We'd probably be looking a lot lower, wouldn't we, if we fell below there? So, yeah, I think, who knows? Just have to wait and see, won't we? Nice call on Stonksy there, though. But yeah, apart from that, I think it's a case of waiting and seeing, isn't it? Anything could happen, couldn't it? The thing is, at the moment, we just don't know what's coming next, do we? We don't know what's coming next, who's going to open the mouth, what the US, China, or anyone else is going to do. So I think it's a case of just waiting and seeing what happens. But yeah, I mean, summer's coming, isn't it? It's not, you wouldn't say it's got long left to squeeze up. I mean, we're in April now. Then we're going to be in May in a couple of weeks, and then we've got summer settling in. So, is the time on Bitcoin's side, or are we maybe in for a ride of just choppiness and ranging maybe until September, October? I don't know. But the good thing is, we can just trade what we see, can't we? Until then. But yeah, I think it's going to be interesting. But I mean, discussing it yesterday in the Discord about just how strong Bitcoin has been. But yeah, what do you think, mate? Do you think? Well, obviously you're positioning, aren't you, for an upside move? But in terms of like kind of like peak fear and stuff like that, just across the board. So in like TradFi, obviously with these tariffs and stuff like that, do you think maybe that's coming to a point of settlements?
Yeah, I think it's how I've always looked at stuff. So I've always played around with investing and trading for years, and I was always going with the headlines to start with and looking on the daily. But then I always did my best, even just spot buys, not like crazy leverage trades, just spot buys is when it seems like the world's collapsing around you. They're always the best times to buy. I know everyone says it now, but they actually are. So, there's all this tariff talk, it's Armageddon. Yeah, it does directly affect businesses, but there's always something that directly affects these businesses. And yeah, the S&P's been nuked. But for me, again, it's like, well, now's the time to be accumulating. Yeah, it may go down a little bit more. But I think we're probably near these bottoms.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it's just going to go to zero to me. Like when you zoom out, like what's that, the monthly chart? Doesn't look so bad, does it?
Yeah, go on, carry on, mate.
I was saying, if this was a 5-minute chart you were showing us now, you'd be like, oh yeah, it's going up, it's fine. Because it's zooming out on the monthly. Each of these monthly candles are quite significant, but when you zoom out, it's not looking so bad. It seems to be holding, like looking at the lines you're drawing now, is it holding these levels that it needs to be holding still? Is it breaking any significant market structure? They're the things I'd be looking at before I got really worried.
Yeah, because I thought we'd go back and just have a look at, obviously, recent, in terms of high time frame, recent S&P corrections. Obviously, COVID crash,
Mm-hmm.
From the high of this move to the bottom, we dropped 36%. Obviously, a lot of that was quickly absorbed for the monthly close. In this correction, obviously, this was when the Fed started hiking rates throughout 2022, and then we got the bottom on it. That dropped only 27%. Currently, we're at 15 on this correction. So, potentially, if we sort of match this. So I think, you can't really, I don't think you can, I think you would maybe consider what's currently going on more closer to when, there was uncertainty about the Fed, Fed hiking rates, inflation, stuff like that. I think you'd align that more with what's currently going on with tariffs than the COVID crash, obviously.
Yeah, when the world was literally shut down.
Yeah, so, if you're liking potentially a dip on this to more when the Fed, started really putting the market through the ringer, hiking rates every FOMC meeting, inflation came in at 9% in the July. We still only dropped 27% before going on, another huge rally. So currently, we're at just over 15%. So if we was to sort of kind of match that, maybe we'd be going down into sort of mid 4,000s on the S&P. So, we'd be looking at another 15% from here. I think that's like worst case scenario. We'd come into, this monthly break area as well. So I think, I think worst case scenario, we'd probably see this, but again, that wouldn't even be that bad. You would definitely, in my opinion, buy that. So I think overall, I don't think it's looking shockingly, unless we carry on with more uncertainty, which the markets don't like. But I think, in the worst case scenario, in my opinion, we're kind of maybe already just over halfway through. If it's even going to go down here, we could easily bounce, couldn't we, from whereabouts we are with the VIX spiking. But we'll have to wait and see. But I thought it'd just be interesting to go back and have a look at, what the S&P has done on corrections and then what's happened afterwards, because we are obviously just in the inevitable high time frame uptrend regardless. Yeah. But even if you go to ones like this, the times when the S&P has corrected, we go back to this one. It corrected 13% originally there. Then obviously this was a much longer time frame for the correction to actually end. But still, that only reached 15% and then carry on upwards. This one that we got in 2018, moving into 2019, is that just about? That was 22% and then crash and then, carry on upwards. So, if history shows us anything, we are potentially in close to a bottom territory on the S&P in terms of corrections. We'll just have to wait and see. But, you can definitely start to pluck things and say, is it actually looking that bad now, or are we maybe reaching peak fear? I don't know. Crypto Bro says, yo, let's go. TMG says Sailor was on Epstein Island list of visitors multiple times. Was he really?
Oh,
was he actually? That's pretty crazy if he actually was. James says he can see 72k with maybe quick wicks down to 65, 67. 1 to 2 months time, I expect a big pump. Shoots, my stop loss triggered and then price went up, so unlucky, says Shoots. Sorry to hear that, mate. Apple is going speaking of that, we'll have a quick look at the Mag 7, shall we? Because I did have a look while Coffee was sharing his screen at the Mag 7. So Nvidia's back below $100, so Nvidia's down to $98.33. So down pre-market again. Apple, like you mentioned in that, Reggie, man. Yeah, Apple is down. What is it down pre-market? Let's see. Another nearly 5% pre-market. Meta, obviously getting slammed. I imagine all of them have been slammed pre-market. Amazon. Yeah, Amazon's down a big chunk again today. Tesla, and then Google. So all of them, Mag 7 down. Let's see what the ETF is doing, down to $42.15 pre-market. But obviously, once they open, I don't think we saw much upside on them yesterday after they gapped down and opened. But, if they open and then start to reclaim, some of what will open as today's gap, maybe we could see a decent bounce across the board. We've got, what time is Powell speaking? I think it's like tonight, like in terms of like UK/European time. I think it's tonight. I can have a quick look for you. Let's have a quick look. He is speaking. Hang on. So that's 3:25 UTC time. So I think that is 4:25 UK time now, I think, with the switch over to BST. So I think that's 4:25. Yeah, it is. Yeah, 4:25 UK time. So, wherever you are in the world. We got Justin saying he's bullish. US 10-year coming down nicely. Plan is planning. So many bearish people send it and leave everyone on the sidelines. Potentially, could well do that, couldn't it? I mean, the VIX is coming down now. So yeah, maybe we've had that, that last flush in fear. We'll have to see. But yeah, there's no doubt that today will be interesting. Now let's get this poll going, shall we? We are. Oh, come on, guys! We're on 38 viewers and 6 likes. That's a shocking performance. Let's get these. Take a second while I get this poll up to go and smash the like button. Let's get it to at least over 20 likes. And then go and vote on the poll. But let's get this. There's 39 people, so pretty much 40 people in. And we was only on 6 likes. Let's get liking. And if you aren't subscribed, do make sure you drop a subscribe, please. Very much appreciated. But yeah, I think, that's a good little coverage of, obviously, the S&P historical corrections, where we're currently at. The VIX obviously spiking into, key reversal territory. So I think all in all, maybe, you can definitely build a case for a spike and maybe peak in fear. Whether that happens to actually be the case is a different story, isn't it? We'll have to wait and see. But, I mean, is there a case for maybe long in Bitcoin here? I don't know. What do you think? What? Did you say you've already been building your leverage longs on Bitcoin, mate? Or you still?
Yeah, I'm looking to. I guess as that weekly momentum wave starts to curve upwards, then I'll start doing that. I hold spot as well. But yeah, it's more. I think there's a chance to get in, some 2-3x's to get you that little bit more out of it when it moves. But I've been trying in the Stonksy Discord, that channel where where you can ask TMG questions. It's pretty cool, actually. I mean, I don't know if everyone here is signed up to Stonksy yet, but there is, for members, you can actually ask TMG questions, which is really cool. So I asked him, like, what strategy is he using currently with Stonksy, and he said he just really likes the 5-minute at the moment, and he just TPs early. And I've been trying it. I now got an alert going off on my phone when the 5-minute turns red and green, and I just placed the position accordingly. And I take profit early at some key levels, like when it hits those key take profit levels. It's really good. If you have a look at it, I guess when you get the chance on the 5-minute with Stonksy, it's not to be sniffed at. It's a really decent strategy to be using. Like, I've always just done, the 1 and the 3-minute and looking at divergences, key levels, all of this. But a really simplified one is just waiting for 5 minutes to go green or red, going with it, and then taking profit early at a key level. And it's playing out, which is really interesting. So yeah, as well as building those low leverage positions, which I'm planning to do, I've still been doing the high leverage degen trading as well on that, with that 5-minute strategy. I'm quite liking it, to be honest. So I'm now at the stage where I'm kind of splitting my trading accounts, where I just use each one for a specific strategy, just to keep it all consistent. So yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Ah, very nice, mate. Very nice. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. So yeah, I think we're at an interesting point, aren't we? I think we're definitely at an interesting point. I mean, yeah, you could definitely see it's starting to curve up for me, couldn't you? I think it's the most of the damage has potentially been done for today. I don't know. we'll just have to wait and find out, won't we?
Yeah, I'll have a look at the smaller time frames now.
Yeah, I mean, I do fancy maybe for it to come, and I imagine there's, there'll be a nicer chunk of liquid in terms of low time frame liquidity above these highs now.
Yeah.
After that move down today. But should we have a look to see what the rest of the market's doing? We've got ETH again, like we discussed yesterday. It came down and swept its March low. It's then kind of been hovering around down at this area. Now, if Bitcoin is going to shoot for a push up, then ETH Bitcoin is still obviously not looking great. But in terms of ETH itself, it might see some relief to the upside. Sol's been an interesting one. Obviously, Sol came in and was retesting this low, the March low. Didn't actually do a sweep on it, on this chart anyway. But again, can Sol... I don't know whether it's due to Sol, the Sol weakness recently or not, but I know there's $200 million worth of Sol unlocked today, or has been unlocked earlier today. So that may be one reason for its weakness in the market. Maybe pricing that in. So, after today, I think that is, as well, a bit of interesting information for everyone. That $200 million Sol unlock is its largest unlock now until 2028. So it's got a few years now. Its biggest unlock has happened today. Up until 2028, there's obviously at the current prices, there's no bigger unlock to come until past 2028 or sometime in 2028. So a bit of information there for you regarding Sol. It was maybe, a bit handy to have. Let's have a look to see what else. Link we was looking at yesterday. I think everything else is pretty much going to be at the same prices as yesterday's stream, aren't we? We was down here, obviously, on yesterday's stream as price nuked down on US Open. So I think everything might be kind of around the same levels. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be too much change on altcoins if we flick through them all. Ton's having a bit of apparent weakness, but Ton was one of the ones that was out on its own, just continually grinding up as the market wasn't really doing anything or bleeding. So Ton's now coming into range of retracing this news pump that it had. So we'll see what happens there on Ton. But as you can see, very, very controlled, steady up trend, and then bang, big news candle, and then again, controlled, steady uptrend. So it's just been coming down and just wiping out all these stops. Got hype again, still messing around at this low. So I don't know, this kind of $11 region again into price discovery to the downside now. You've got DOT holding strong around $4, and then yeah, pretty much just everything else kind of hovering around. We've got ZRO, big performer today, up 5.5%. That's good to see. You got Aero, just absolutely nuking. So this was one I was interested in that I've discussed on stream, but it's just completely nuked through my level now. So I've just got no interest in building a position on that at all. That is into very bad territory. You got Orca. So yeah, I mean, if anyone wants me to look at anything, this was interesting. This is this Newsmax company that IPO'd this week. Obviously, massive pump up and then nuked down, and then ended up 20% up yesterday. But yeah, I think that's pretty much where we're at, aren't we? There's not really too much different. Definitely on altcoins anyway. There's definitely not really been much movement since yesterday. Everything's pretty much around the same level as it was, bar a few that are moving on their own. Do make sure you drop a big thumbs up on the stream, please. It does help me out. But we've got half an hour until US Open. So we've got half an hour until the fun strikes, and we are pushing up on Bitcoin. I will share a cheeky little thing with you here, Coffee. Little cheeky thing is, I did go in long Bitcoin in the past before I started doing that little interlude. So I have done a long, and I'll show you my exact position I've got. So if you do want to hunt my stop.
I'm not got enough capital to do that, I'm afraid.
What was my entry? Let me check my entry. Hang on. Let me check. My entry was 82850. Right. So let me do this. Hang on. So entry price 82850. I've put my stop loss. Stop level is 81,500. My profit level Oh, hang on. I've put that as ticks. What does ticks mean? Oh, I don't know. 81,500. It's going to look all weird now. And then I haven't put a take profit in. I'm just going to kind of let it ride. I would like to see these highs get taken out. So around like 89, 90k-ish would be a profit.
What was your thesis for entering at that stage?
Basically what we've been talking about on stream. Pretty much kind of like fear maybe peaking. And I thought, well, it's worth a go, innit? You know, it's either going to go up from here because we maybe should have reached, kind of peak fear or not. And if it doesn't, it's going to maybe come down and do what the plan I've been looking for so far this week, which is kind of around in and around this 80k area where I'd long it again. But I thought, may as well give it a go here. So that's what I'm in. And it's up. So that would be nearly 5R if we head towards. So my theory would be, I would like to see this. Actually, I've still got it drawn on the chart. So I would like to see, I'll do it again. I would like to see these highs taken out. So it's obviously cleared some of them. But on this, when Trump was speaking, it's still not cleared out all these highs. It's cleared out, obviously, it cleared out these, it cleared out this. Don't think it actually took that wick, it never. It's obviously not cleared out these highs and not cleared out the actual high itself. So I'd like to see a run of them highs before anything else. So if it can build something, I would like to see a run of these highs and then maybe see if it's going to come up and test a range low, or if it starts to maybe low time frame distribute, maybe try a short on it for back down. But that's where I am at the moment. So yeah, thought I'd share that with everyone while I took that.
Nice. Yeah, decent trade. I think it's you got in at a good entry there.
91k, Dave says. Justin, yes, mate. Justin is, so are you long as well, Justin? Could be a nice cup and handle on the 5 minute for Bitcoin Prime to move up at 3 p.m. Okay. Man, Dave, you're optimistic it's a Friday. I really long on a Friday, so I see temporary pump. Yeah, I mean, if it stops me out, mate, it stops me out, doesn't it? If it stops me out, it stops me out. Not the end of the world. But yeah, that's I thought I'd share that with everyone while I've taken it. So we'll see. Nice little 5R trade. I mean, if it went to 91k, like Justin is saying, that would end up about a 6R trade, which would be very, very nice. But I think I'd probably close it on the sweep of these highs just to be safe. Take the 5R, 4.5R, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
And then wait to see what develops. But that's if it comes off. Famous last words. US Open nuke.
Oh god. How do you usually exit? Do you have your take profit and take it all out, or do you have? Because I average out at different levels. What do you do? Do you just have a specific point and take it out, or do you have a few?
Yeah, normally it depends. Kind of normally I try to let it ride because I'm the type of I like to kind of just let my take profit and stop loss do its job, unless I get to a point where I just want to close it.
Yeah.
But I kind of like the amount of times that I've closed a trade in a loss, and then if I would have just left it and just let my stop loss do its job, it would have ended up being fine.
Yeah.
Or worst case scenario, it would have gone close back to my entry, so I could have really minimized my loss. But the amount of times that I've done that is just ridiculous. So I kind of, at least with my stop loss in profit, then yeah, you can be ruthless and stuff like that. But at least with my stop loss, I kind of just set a plan and I'm just like, I ride with it and then just let it do its job and just let it happen. Because the amount of times I've done that, honestly, and it's I think that's one of the worst feelings when you just have a plan and then, the trade's going against you. And you decide to just kind of interfere and then maybe close it in a loss and then suddenly you close it and then it starts U-turning.
Yeah.
So I at least let my stop loss do its job. Yeah, I mean, take profit wise, it depended on what day it is and stuff like that as well. Maybe if, say if you've longed in the week and it's coming to the weekend, maybe you want to take most of the risk off the table or something like that. But something like this, I think, I mean, it would make, if the market is going to go up, it would make sense now to really hunt this liquidity up here. I think, because we've seen, you can see, can't you, on the chart, the amount of times we've tested down here and it's held, we're really holding demand down here. So it would make sense to now, I mean, this kind of area needs breaking, doesn't it? Here, obviously we broke it above here, but then again, we've stopped around here again today. So I think we properly break this, and then maybe there's a chance of it, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, I agree. It makes sense. Like, how can the market cause the most pain, and it'll be taking out those points of liquidity up there.
Yeah.
And it, if it's going up, that's where it will go to. It'll go to wipe those traders out. So, yeah, I hope it plays out for you. You'll be along for the ride with it. So, not a bad choice.
Yeah, and if it doesn't, there's my weekend spend's been blown up in the market. So we'll see.
Yeah.
We got Justin saying his take profit 2 is 119k and take profit 3 198. Wow. So you like positionally long then now? Guess that's like a position trade, isn't it? More than a swing. That.
Nice.
Scotty says know that feeling, and then James says just hold for 300k.
Love it, James. That's what I like to hear.
Yeah.
Dave, you'll be paying for all our weekends if it gets to 300k soon with your position.
Yeah. You will be. You will be. That's for sure. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, at the moment, I just see it as in a range, so maybe I'll trade it like that. But if we can, really the key, I think the key aspect to the upside is, number one, is properly breaking this downtrend. I mean, we had a little flirt over it, didn't we? Yes, the other day, and then obviously the daily candle was horrific, so it just ended up being a wick above. But you can just see, any contact into this trend line is where supply comes into the market. So we need to properly break this. But I mean, the key is, I would consider the yearly open, because I think even if we reclaim, say, 92k-ish, you've got the yearly open right above your head. So you kind of just crammed in there then. No doubt in my mind, the yearly open is the level to gain, I think. Still watching the range low, but then, you say you reclaim the range low, say 92k, and then you smash your head on the yearly open, you can easily just fall back out of the range then, if that's going to start turning it, back into resistance again. So, I don't know. I would like to see the yearly open reclaimed, and then probably be then saying, okay, well, let's start looking to these, the range high then.
Yeah, that's it. Maybe around that time we'll see that weekly momentum wave cross above the upside. It might all fall hand in hand then, and that just be the signal for its go time. But yeah, it could be a couple of weeks away, who knows. But anyway, I need to bounce. It's been a pleasure as always. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Big thank you for coming on.
Thank you, and I'll try and jump on next Friday as well. It seems to be a good time for me this definitely. Anyway. But yeah, thanks for the time, Dave, and no doubt we'll chat to you. I'll chat to you throughout the week as we go on.
Yeah, definitely, mate.
Good luck with that trade.
Yeah, I think I might need it. Cheers, mate. I'll catch you soon.
Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye. Right, so that was Coffee. Big up Coffee. For those of you obviously in the Stonksy Discord, you'll know Coffee. If you don't, do make sure you go and give him a follow on Twitter if you just type in his name, Crypto Coffee Club. And come and watch his latest video as well. Give him a bit of support. This was the video he was on about that he's uploaded today. So just type in Crypto Coffee Club on YouTube after the stream and come and give his video a watch. Massive, I'm sure you'll massively appreciate that. But we do have 20 minutes until US Open. I'm just going to get a quick drink. Won't be a second. Got Justin saying that trend line is begging to get tweeted. James says, I see that. Yeah, I see what you. I mean, to be fair, I see what you mean. Yeah, but I mean, you can't deny that Bitcoin is holding up exceptionally well, isn't it? It's holding up very, very well. Really, you would imagine it to be a lot lower by now, considering the weakness in TradFi. You would imagine it to be a lot lower than it is. So we'll have to see. But let's see if I get stopped out on this trade or not live on stream. Let's see. We got so up's winning slightly with 53% of the vote and then down 47. We've still only got 16 likes on the stream, so do make sure you drop a like, please. It will be massively appreciated. By me, of course. But, I mean, yeah, the reaction on the S&P today is going to be very telling, isn't it? It's going to be very, very telling. Here's my trade. Back to break even already. That was fun. And now, XRP is an interesting one, and it's still holding on. It's still holding on for dear life into this range, isn't it? Still holding on. Still yet to properly break below and retrace. I think if you come up to here, you know, you start getting above here, and then maybe you start heading back towards 230s. Otherwise, back into here, and then you can roll it back. Look to roll it back down. But what would you guys like me to look at? Let me know. Let me know in the chat what you'd like me to look at. And I shall do just that for you. Choopsy says I signed up. Yeah, Choopsy, you I asked you to so Choopsy, I tried to message you, mate. So you signed up, and I said didn't I to DM me, but your settings on Discord is I can't message you if I'm not your friend, and I can't add you. So I did try and tag you again, saying please DM me. So that was 2 days ago. I put in. I said in the introduce yourself bit. I said you need to add me as a friend, so I can reply to you. So I need to give you a one-time password to get in, but I can't DM you on Discord. So just add me as a friend, or just change your settings so I can. I mean, you can just add me as a friend if you want. I've tried adding you, but I still can't do that. So, if you if you add me as a friend now, I can give you a one-time password right now if you want. But yeah, I appreciate you obviously being a new member. It's great to see you. I imagine you'll need to give me your BLOFIN UID number as well, won't I? So you can get access to the trading bot, which I can sort out for you after the stream. So we got Powell again speaking today. So Powell speaking today. And then these don't really matter. So that's it. And then what have we got next week? Should we have a look into next week? So next week, clear, apply filter. So we got, so that doesn't matter. So mainly next week, all we have is CPI on Thursday and then PPI on Friday. I don't really pay attention to this Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index one, but these two should provide some good volatility as well. Got 2.8. No, wait, hang on. Oh, there's no consensus at the moment for CPI. You DM me the other day, mate. You DM me the other day saying, "Hi, Dave, just joined. Are you able to send password? Thanks." So, Dave, you DM me the other day. I just can't DM you back, and I can't add you as a friend because of your settings. So that's me. You'll be able to see me. Stella, how we doing? That's Sibby Trader put in Discord. Got nuked by these tariffs. Dave, how's your day going? I'm having a drink on you. Oh, Stella, great to see you. Yeah, that tariff news pretty much just crushed all momentum, didn't it, in the market? I've crushed it back down. I'm in this trade though, so we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. At the moment, not looking too bad, but we do have US Open in 10 minutes, so it could all go terribly wrong, couldn't it? Just sent friend request. Okay, yeah, I got it. There you go. You should be able to enter with that, mate. Go on the verify section. So go back into the Discord, click the verify channel, verify yourself, use that password, and I think that should be all good. Just let me know when it's all sorted. If anyone is looking to trade anything today, though, do make sure you click the first link in the description. Sign up to BLOFIN. And don't forget, if you haven't got Stonksy yet, we are still running the 20% off your first month offer. You can find the link in the description, and the discount code BOT20 is in there as well. Do make sure to take advantage if you've been watching my streams or looking at Stonksy and you want to try it. Try it for 20% off your first month. What else is interesting? Should we have a look? Anything interesting going on? I'll tell you what. We'll have a look. Should we have a look at the heat map? Yeah, so no doubt. Biggest, I mean, you would know that anyway by the absolute velocity of the sell-off. But the liquidity is to the upside. Anything changed on a 2-week horizon? Probably not, but let's see. Yeah, so this is, I mean, you'll be able to, you can see where liquidity would be on the chart without using something like this, but you know, that will be definitely right. There will be massive liquidity, you know, obviously above this week's high, but then obviously above these highs that are yet to be taken out. So, you know, around 89k would make sense as a liquidity grab. But yeah, everything's pretty much looking the same, isn't it? We'll get the setup ready for US Open soon as well. Oh, hang on. Hang on, my camera's playing funny. Just try and fix my camera. Hang on. There we go. Fixed. Does Blown have deposit over BLOFIN? I think it doesn't. Oh, the camera's done it again. It doesn't have. I don't think it has deposit limits, Scotty, but I think it's 20k per day withdrawal limits if you're on the non-KYC bit. So, to my knowledge, I think you can deposit as much as you want, pretty much, under non-KYC. But if you are under non-KYC settings, then I think the max withdrawal is 20k per day. Right. I think that should be... Yeah, there you go. Fix my camera. All good. Say, Choopsy, I believe you're in, yeah? Yeah, there you go. Choopsy's in. But yeah, I mean, this liquidity to the upside is rife for the taking, I think it seems. We'll soon see anyway, won't we? I'm in. What are we thinking for pre-market or when it opens? So it opens in 6 minutes. So Choopsy, all you need to do if you want to get whitelisted for the trading bots is you need to DM me your BLOFIN user ID number. So if you haven't signed up to BLOFIN, click the first link in the description of this stream. Sign up for it. Or if you already signed up to BLOFIN, send me a UID number. If you want to get on both of them, so currently we're running a high frequency bot and a low frequency bot. If you want to get on both of them, you'll have to send me 2 UID numbers for 2 accounts. If you just maybe want to start off on the high frequency one, then obviously I'll just need 1 UID number off you to whitelist you for it. Hi, Pappy. How we doing, my friend? How we doing? I've got 4 minutes. Should we set the stream up? Ready for it. Let's get the S&P on the go. If we do tap 85, okay, yeah. And good bot working well. Yeah, the bot's been great. The high time frame one has been superb, hasn't it? The high frequency one, sorry, has been absolutely superb. It's getting a little push down into open. We've got 3 minutes to go, and then we will be rocking. So let's see what we get. I can at least... Yes, do make sure you drop a like on the stream if you haven't. I'm a little bit underwater on my trade so far. I may add to it. I may look to add to it. Right, we've got what, 2 minutes? Let's load up. So the poll, 56% of people thinking we're going up. Let's end that there. And let's see who's right today. We've not got long to go. 50 seconds, and then we'll be rocking and rolling. What's everyone up to on the weekend anyway? Let me know. Or what you're up to tonight or on the weekend, whatever it may be. Do let me know in the chat. It'd be great to know what you guys are up to. Oh, there we go. There we go. We are open. We are open on the stock market. So let's see what we're going to get. Shoot says, why are you expecting a pump? Because I think Bitcoin has held up exceptionally well on this stock market, on this, S&P and TradFi weakness. I think also in terms of TradFi, we've had the VIX spike into key historical highs where it's spiked in there, and that's typically marked, the peak in volatility. And I think we're kind of maybe around kind of peak fear in the markets. It feels that way anyway. It feels like, this is what we've had. China hit back at the US now over tariffs. So really, what could be bigger than that? I don't think there's anything really bigger than China coming back at the US with tariffs, is there? In my opinion, anyway. So it seems like, a perfect storm for a squeeze up, maybe. Seems like, it is like kind of max fear past us now. I don't know. Could always be wrong. Could always be wrong. How did you get rid of that spider so you can open the market? That was last week, mate. I literally just put a piece of paper under the bell, took it to the window, and just shook it, and then it fell out. Going to get... Oh, very nice. Saber Crypto. You're having a lovely weekend then, aren't you? Enjoy that, mate. Enjoy that. Should be a smashing weekend for you. James is rebuilding a fence and gate for his girlfriend and getting over man flu by slow smoking on my Komodo. Oh, very nice. Very nice, mate. You're having a great weekend as well, aren't you? Everyone's having some lovely weekend antics. Are we going to get a bit of tomfoolery here? What are you up to, Dave? Not much, mate. I don't think. Just chilling, I think. Nothing too much. Just enjoying the weather. Probably just get out as much as I can in the nice weather and stuff. And then just enjoy a recharge. But apart from that, I don't think much, mate. So let's see where we are going now. Patience. Patience is what's needed here. I don't know whether to... what levels would I be interested in adding some more? I'm interested in it. Dave, do you trade much on weekends? I try and avoid it. I prefer it when I'm already in a trade and I can just carry it over to the weekend. I like Sundays, actually. Mainly just Saturdays I avoid, to be honest, Stella. I like Sundays for it. Sundays is a good one because normally you get like a Sunday pump or dump that you can reverse trade it. But yeah, I've been carrying one into it. It's good if you're already in profit from one in the week, and then you can just carry it into the weekend, kind of risk-free. Wiz is going to a rooftop wine bar again. You do love that. James is right. You do love that. Dave just bought your missus a new iPhone. Time to get. Very nice, mate. Enjoy. Yeah, Sundays are a really good day to trade when you get a nice volatile day to hit reverse on it into the Monday. Let's see. So we've got Nvidia opened 3.5%, Apple 3%, Meta 4.7%, Microsoft 2%, Amazon 4.5%, Tesla 4.4%, and Google 1%, all down. And as you see, these will have, if we go and have a look, these will have mega gaps now. As you can see, yeah, another gap today. Now, still obviously got another gap from the other day as well. Apple, big gap here. Obviously, another gap from yesterday. So these have got mega gaps open now from this week. So I'm currently in a loss on my trade. And it's going against me. I wonder whether to make it a bit more comfortable. I did maybe long the wrong position there. Let's see, we're coming down on the S&P. I wonder. Oh, are you, Scotty? Are you queuing up, mate? Yeah. Are you queuing up for it? Right, it's approaching an interesting area, I think. to maybe manage this trade a bit better. What's AMD doing? That's one I've got my eyes on as they're starting to catch Nvidia technically. Okay, let's have a look. Down 5% today. If you have a look, if you have a look over the course of the daily, big correction on it from 227. So we have corrected 60% from 2024 highs on AMD now. I mean, this is, maybe it's got a little bit more to go into here, maybe. Yeah. But it's definitely approaching, like, high to mid 70s looks like a good spot for it, doesn't it? I def see us taking yesterday's low for sure. I'm hoping for a nuke, unfortunately. Sorry, guys. I had no problem, mate. No, we don't have anything to BTCC, no. Not currently, anyway. Only BLOFIN. We've only got one to BLOFIN at the moment. I'm definitely going to get stopped out on this trade, aren't I? Yesterday's lows, yeah, I mean, that looks kind of like... I think if we go there, I think we're probably coming down towards 80, aren't we, as a minimum, maybe? You would estimate, anyway. The S&P is sinking. However, we are in the first 10 minutes. So we could get a potential decent... I'm definitely going to get stopped out on this trade. Should have waited, shouldn't I, until after US Open? I thought maybe they might eat the fear, but it doesn't seem like they're going to do that. It doesn't seem like they're going to eat the fear. Maybe they will. Does anyone else's audio keep jumping? That's a good question. Does anyone else's audio keep jumping? Do make sure you'll smash a like on the stream. Do make sure you drop me a subscribe as well if you haven't already. It is massively appreciated. Just a thought, because when we can all trade stocks and kickbacks. Okay, does BTCC offer stock trading, does it? The S&P is just carrying on nuking into the session for now. I'm about halfway towards my stop loss, which is not ideal. Yeah, it's not looking great, is it? It's not looking great so far, like. Audio all good. That's good. It must just be yours, Scotty. I don't know why. Can you just cut half if you believe in trade? Yeah, it could do. It's not a massive trade. Like, I'm pretty fine with getting stopped out. If I get stopped out, I'm just going to leave it. If it stops me out, it stops me out. If we start pushing back up, we are still in the first 15 minutes of US. So I'm not really too overly fussed. Because normally that is when we don't see the big trend of the day coming. Normally afterwards, isn't it? But I think one thing you could maybe say is that Bitcoin over the past week or so has looked like it wants to push up. Obviously, it did push up here, but in general terms, it looks like it wants to push up, and it's really been dragged down by all this tariff talk and obviously the S&P nuking, which Bitcoin has been strong against, but still been getting dragged down by. So if it can loosen up a bit, obviously the weekend maybe gives that green light to some better conditions. We'll have to wait and see. But it is fun to watch, that's for sure. Like I mentioned before as well, do make sure you go and check out Coffee's video that he put on before. Just type in on YouTube, Crypto Coffee Club, and watch his video that he uploaded today. He was on the stream before if he wasn't here, so yeah, well worth having a look at, and do make sure you go and drop him a follow on Twitter as well. Yeah, so we are not really finding any steady ground on the S&P, are we? We're not really finding any steady ground at the moment. Is there anything you guys would like me to look at? Let me know in the chat. Anything you want me to look at specifically? Can look at an altcoin or whatever. Stella says, so do you believe in a higher leverage trade where you can get liquidated as a stop loss? Or do you average in with more money and have a line in the sand? I typically trade with low leverage anyway. I typically trade with low leverage and prefer position size coming from actual margin than leverage. In my personal opinion. I mean, there's nothing wrong with, if that's what you want to do, if you're pretty happy with taking a loss on something, if you do want to use a liquidation as a stop loss, you can do that. You could do that, of course. So it looks like we're climbing back up now. Looks like we're climbing back up. So, yeah. Why? The first, 15, 20 minutes, half an hour on US Open can be quite deceiving. Solana. Yeah, let's go and have a look at Solana. So Solana is pretty interesting. It had its lowest daily close yesterday since the 24th of February, 2024. That was its lowest daily close in over a year. Now, interesting for me, I always see I always saw kind of like 125 as daily demand. Now it's broke through that. However, it is in here. You could see it coming into 90s. I've obviously got maybe 100 outlined, but I think if you get rid of these two, I think kind of around here-ish, maybe. As like a worst case scenario if we're going to drop again. Like worst case scenario. Apart from that, I think, you know, if you go onto the monthly, still, I mean, the monthly close wasn't terrible, was it? It kind of was still, it was still around that 125 level. So the monthly close wasn't terrible, but obviously on the monthly, you can see now it's entering a bit of a dangerous position. So for me, I think if it kind of, I've always played this 125 level since it came into this range. So I would like to see it regain 125. Personally, you know, maybe some others would have it lower. You know, maybe some would have it like 120 or wherever. Dupe, someone asked for dupe. We looked at dupe this week a lot, actually. Dupe is here. So dupe's in a bit of trouble because it's like kind of, it's in price discovery to the downside effectively. So it's in price discovery to the downside. You know, obviously it just keeps getting like lower and lower closes. That's never been seen before because there's obviously no price history to the left on dupe. So I think for dupe, you either want to see it come down to some level, not to say that this is the level, but some level, and really, you know, maybe this is the level, and just kind of, you know, bottom out, have a clear point where demand is coming in, where the price is being held up. Either something like that, or I think, you know, if it regains kind of this 46/47 cent level, obviously that's where it held to the left-hand side. Maybe you could move it up slightly if you wanted to, you know, maybe if you wanted to move it in line with most recent, you know, maybe you could put it there like that. So maybe 48. Reclaim of that, and then, yeah, looking a lot better. Then there's your deviation, so you got some sort of invalidation to put in. But I think it'll probably just tie in it with Solana strength. So we'll have to wait and see. Right, what's happening with Bitcoin? Right, come on. Go up now. Go up now. Dr. Cucumber Solaya. Oh, Solaya. What's that? Solaya. This thing. Oh, wow. That's done very well, hasn't it? What is this? What does it do? What does this do? What is it? I mean, no doubt it's had a very strong uptrend, hasn't it? Had a very strong uptrend. Yeah, I mean, you kind of don't want to see, so if we go down to the 4-hour time frame, you don't really want to see it start losing where it's built the current range. So you see, what you don't want effectively is this to turn into distribution. You don't want this to turn into distribution and then it obviously start coming back down. So, you know, you've got some form of SR here. So if it does come back down, you want it to hold here. Otherwise, it's going to start heading back down here. But until, you know, it breaks above these highs, then, yeah, looks like it would be set for continuation then. Yeah, I mean, you would imagine maybe long term it would be fine, Stella. It's just a case of when something's got no price history to the left, you just don't know how low it's going to go, do you? Because you think the maybe low might be in, and then it could drop another 20%. Needs to kind of find a bottom or reclaim a key level. James, thank you very much for joining, mate. Hope you have a great weekend. Good luck with your long. Yeah, we'll see, mate, won't we? We'll see. Hope you have a great weekend. Thank you for joining, mate. It's a wallet. All right, okay. Can you do a quick explainer on how you make a box on TradingView? What do you mean, make a box? How you actually draw one? It's in this toolbox here. So the bit underneath. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 ones down. And then in shapes bit, rectangle. And then you can obviously choose what color you want it. You know, if you want it blue or white or whatever. Is that what you mean? Yeah, this one. Yeah. Yeah, same thing. If that's what you meant, anyway. Yeah. I prefer, most of the time, I prefer boxes to lines, I think. But if anyone is looking to trade anything today, do make sure you click the first link in the description. Sign up to BLOFIN. Best non-KYC exchange in there. Obviously, a partner of Stonksy and where we run our trading bots. So do make sure you click that link and sign up. And for those of you wanting to take advantage of the offer we're running, do make sure you can find the link to Stonksy in the, the Stonksy website and the discount code BOT20, but it is at the top of the website. Click the monthly option when you come over to start now, and then obviously at checkout, put the code in to receive your 20% off your first month. But if you do want to pay in crypto, click the email address, hyperlink here, and just drop us an email. So you want to pay in crypto, BOT20 discount, and we'll sort that out for you. So what do we need to see to get an upside move on Bitcoin? I think we need the S&P to play ball in tandem. So we could do with coming up on the S&P. We'll obviously more than likely come into some difficulty around here. This is where, if you have a look on here, this is where supply came into the market. So we'll probably have, my estimation is, some difficulty around here. Maybe we fall back off on the S&P once we come into here. But that itself will provide great breathing room for Bitcoin. So that's what we want to see, if we can get it. Now, Bitcoin is making its move in it. As you can see, it's been trying to do it on the past 2 10-minute candles and just been getting rejected off constantly. But it is trying to make its move now. I use lines, but I think I would like that as a change. Yeah, I mean, the reason I prefer boxes is because I think it's much easier to enter a trade when you're looking at, maybe an area of a couple of $100 rather than trying to nail something like bang on the money or within, $5 or $10 or something. If you identify an area of, supply, demand, SR, whatever you want to call it, I think to give yourself a couple of $100, because, price can spike a bit higher than you maybe account for, can't you? Can drop maybe a bit lower than you account for. I find if you spread it across a bit of a wider area in the form of a box, I just find it, me personally, I just find it easier to deal with. But, that's not obviously everyone's preference, is it? Here we go. What I was talking about. It's what I've been talking about. Come on then. But yeah, do make sure everyone drops a like on the stream. And for those of you that haven't said anything, let me know, your thoughts on the market. Let me know what you're doing. Love to know what you're up to over the weekend. You got anything exciting planned? Are you just chilling? Are you looking to trade over the weekend? What is it that you've got going on? But here we go. So S&P relief, as you can see, just on this 10-minute candle providing this upside relief, Bitcoin is more than reciprocating that. So you can see the strength on Bitcoin and Bitcoin's desire to go up. It's just waiting for that green light and, you know, conditions where it can show relief and bounce. Oh, yeah. That's what we like, isn't it? What a big old meaty 10-minute candle that is. So, as you know, if we can carry on towards up here on the S&P, you would look at Bitcoin and you'd say, okay, we're probably going to maybe head towards 85K, which should shove it back into this high time frame descending trend line. And this is why I mentioned about letting my stop do the work, because I could have easily, you know, maybe panicked and closed the trade down here when it was falling on US Open, or maybe, you know, I could have panicked and closed it or whatever. But I let my stop do the work, and obviously now we're in a little bit of profit, so we'll see what happens anyway. Is this going to be a continuation throughout the day? We hope so, but let's see. Let's see first. So Stella says, serious question from an American. Do you think Trump is just doing this for the world? He is a little crazy, but appeals to Americans for all the people. No, I think he's doing it because I think, one, it's really maybe one of the only options that the US has got in terms of maybe trying to generate some more money each month and, you know, obviously reduce the deficit. Two, there's no doubt that it's actually true that the US gets shafted on trade. It does. Like, the US takes it very hard on trade. You know, tariffs applied to the US, but not applied to, you know, obviously the reverse. So I think he's just looked at it and probably thought, do you know what, we're done with this. Why should the US take the brunt and be fisted by the rest of the world? So, Reggie Man says, I'm staying quiet on the market. What I say, I would hope would happen normally go the opposite. So I'm guessing maybe you want it to go to the upside, Reggie. Is that what you're saying? Retirement accounts, but his legacy says he doesn't want to fail. His kids aren't in crypto. It won't fail. Yeah, I think, I mean, the guy loves the limelight, doesn't he? He loves the limelight. He loves being the center of attention. He loves having the power and stuff like that, which, you know, he's the most powerful person in the world at the moment, isn't he? So, Dave, the Bitcoin bandit. Hello, RN. How we doing, mate? Great to see you. I'll buy for you and Dave. Just bring back FCF. What's that? FCF. What's that? What's that, Stella? Reggie Man. I know, literally, as I said that, then it started going down, didn't it? You couldn't write it, could you? Literally, as I said that, then Reggie Man, it started going down. It seems like we're cursed. Come on, carry on. Right. So we just need upside relief on the S&P, or at least it to hold. You know, just limit the downside. But like I said, if we can come into here, I think this is maybe where we see some low time frame rejection, because it will come into low time frame supply. So maybe like something like that, unless it, you know, just giga strong and just giga reverses, or we get some news to push it really through fast. Maybe come back down a little bit. And then I don't know if this will happen all in today's session, but then we'd want to see something like that. So that's what we're reliant on at the minute anyway. You are correct on the trade, but we spend so much on military. Everyone is afraid. Yeah, that's true, mate. That's true. Yes. Oh, free Chippy Friday. Oh yeah, FCF. Okay. Yeah, I don't know if they plan on to bring that back or not. I don't know what's going on with that. I don't really have any involvement with anything on that front. Right, but regardless, is a nice reversal on Bitcoin from the US Open dump. Just need the S&P to shore up a bit. Let's see. Again, I don't think we're not gonna see any change on alts, are we? Whatever we're getting. I mean, XRP's had a strong push up. I would like to short this again. I'd like it to really squeeze higher back towards its range high if it can. And I would like to short it, I can't lie. But yeah, I mean, everything's going to be looking very similar, isn't it? You know, everything's going to have had a couple of decent candles, some stronger than others, like the S&P, like XRP, Doge. You know, a few will be stronger than others, but pretty much everything's going to be showing the same signs. No point even having XMR on this list, is there? We're never going to trade it. But yeah, here we go. So yeah, see, this is the importance of it, innit? The S&P is now retraced this 10-minute candle and now is providing some heat to Bitcoin. So this is what makes me think maybe, I mean, famous last words in it before we just get a giga nuke, but maybe thinks that we might have a good squeeze on the weekend because Bitcoin looks like it's just really wanting to push to the upside and be strong. It's just got the S&P just not providing the room or opportunity for it to. Powell speaking today too. Should be really interesting what he's got to say, to be honest. Afternoon, debut. How we doing? But yeah, big thank you for joining, Stella. Enjoy your weekend. And yeah, have a good one. Thank you very much for joining. Appreciate you commenting in the chat. And I'll catch you in the Discord or obviously on next week's streams. Yeah, not so good. I mean, yeah, we're now just retracing it. It's not providing any let up for Bitcoin. Not providing any let up for Bitcoin, unfortunately. Stocks. Let's see. So Nvidia is just dropping more. So these are like the suspects that are causing it. See, you've got Amazon and Microsoft showing strength, pushing back up. You've then got Tesla dropping more. Now the problem is, I think the main issue with this isn't it, is you've got ones that actually like deal with China and you know, mostly a product company like Nvidia, Apple, Tesla. I'm saying that, I don't think Tesla deals with China, do they? Maybe they do. I don't know. Obviously Google. So yeah, I think that's where the main sticking point is coming from. So yeah, no reversal on the S&P just yet, but we could get it at any point during this session, and that's what Bitcoin needs. But yeah, if anyone is looking to trade anything today or over the weekend, do make sure you signed up to BLOFIN. You'll find the link in the description and in the chat right now. It'd be great to see some of you join the Stonksy Discord as well, if you choose to take up the offer. If you are watching and you're not a Stonksy user, obviously you can click the link in the description and use the code to get 20% off. But when you join the Discord, let me know. Just say hi, I come from Dave's stream, or you know, I was watching Dave on stream and took up the offer. it'd be great to know who joins actually from the streams. And smash a like. Well, that's it, isn't it? Everyone should have smashed a like by now. But yeah, I mean, really. So as a quick roundup, and it's going to be a very quick roundup, pretty much on the Bitcoin front, we just need the S&P to provide some stability and stop bleeding. That's literally it. It looks like, from the point of view of Bitcoin, that obviously it is very strong against it. But in terms of upside action, it just needs them conditions to actually be able to go up. Whereas it's just being any sort of form of momentum is just being dragged down by the S&P. It's just completely nuking in it. So, does the weekend give that stability, or does that strength maybe fade away over the weekend and, Bitcoin starts dropping lower, 80k below? Anything's possible, isn't it? But we'll see what happens. But that's pretty much it. Altcoins are around the same spot as yesterday, not really moved, just following Bitcoin's lead. And the Mag 7 is just completely nuking most part. Some are turning around, like Microsoft and Amazon, trying to fill today's gap and make a U-turn. But then you got Tesla down 7%, Nvidia down 5%, just nuking into the 90s. So it's tough out there at the moment because Bitcoin's having to deal with some major external factors to try and stay afloat. BLOFIN are sponsoring 2049 in Dubai. They sent out some goodie bags. The sliders. Very nice, very nice. Great to hear that, Pappy. Yeah, but those big 2K candles have to stop. Yeah, that's true. But yeah, big thank you for joining today, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed this week's streaming. It's been fun. When Bitcoin's volatile and the market's bringing, some good discussion points and volatility, it always makes an interesting stream, and it's fun to do. Not really much to say, is there? We need this to stop if we're going to go up. But that's all from me today. Appreciate you all joining. Great week of streams. Obviously, I'll be back on Sunday night for the hour stream on Sunday night, reviewing whatever we get over Saturday and, most of Sunday. And then, we'll see what we lead into with next week. Should be interesting. Obviously, I imagine there's going to be plenty of opportunity because Bitcoin is showing that it's definitely providing volatility at the moment. And Stella says, Dave is the best. No, you are the best. Thank you very much. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. And hopefully we can have a nice weekend pump. We'll see, though, won't we? Ciao for now.